Hey everybody, this is Adam 3176. So I'm going to bring up something again that I brought up here last year, the year before. I'm bringing it up again because NASA's showing a lot of pictures of the sun again. And last year I brought up the issue I had with NASA and the sun that they were showing. And it looked doctored to me. And I believe that they were making the sun look more intimidating than it really is for the solar flare propaganda. I made this in a video last year, at the beginning of last year actually, and so after this Venus transit I started looking again at pictures that people get from the ground and telescopes versus what NASA's showing us. And I believe NASA shows us a real sun and the Venus going across, but then they supposedly change spectrums and they show the sun in a whole new light, which I believe is just propaganda and doctoring. Because no matter what color filter you're going to get, you're not going to get the sun to make it, you're not going to get the sun to look the way they're showing it to you. And it's really important because, the global government, in order to create a global terror threat or a global disaster or a catastrophe, is they have to create the illusion of a real global catastrophe. Whether it's terror, a third world war, or the illusion of a war, or the illusion of terror, or just the illusion of a sun that's gone out of control that's going to take out all of our power. And the point I'm trying to make here is that if they do convince the people that the sun's going to throw off a solar flare and they shut off power and they show a sun with a huge solar flare coming off of it, then I believe that that can fool a lot of people, and they will go wherever the government tells them to go, whether it's a FEMA camp or whatever. And that's where I'm trying to go with this. So here I'd like to show you, which I believe is the real sun. This is pretty much what you see through your telescope. No matter what color filter you use, you're going to see the same thing. You have a bright sun, a sharp cutoff, then space. Of course, space is already black and you have a filter on the sun, so you're going to have that sharp cutoff anyway. But that's what you have. Notice that the Mercury, or I should say Venus has no transparency whatsoever. The sun, you can't see the sun behind Venus. And that's really important, because later in these other photos you can, or these other supposed time-lapse photographies you can. So here's what I believe is the real sun. And then they'll cut off, and then they'll, I don't know what they're showing here, because if it was, I honestly don't know what they're showing. Is it supposed to be ultraviolet? Is it supposed to be FLIR? Because you're not going to see that through FLIR either. It's not going to be like that. First of all, now Venus is lighter, and there's flamage and brightness, and outer space is brighter than the sun. In fact, the sun almost has darker spots, darker than outer space. But here you have outer space brighter than the sun itself. What is that from? I just don't see where it's from. And also, you can see that Venus looks transparent. You can see the sun behind Venus. Again, I believe this is just trickery, and supposedly they're maybe using just a different color filter, but it's not going to change the way the sun actually behaves. Here again, you can see the transparency of Venus. You can see the sun going through Venus. On the originals, you didn't. Again, outer space is brighter than the sun, than the sun itself. Here is where I have the major problem. First of all, this whole sun looks fake, and it looks like they make it more intimidating. They have super bright spots, and then they have smoke going way out to outer space, and it just looks, you know, it looks like it's going to eat us alive, you know. Also, big time, you can see the sun transparency going right behind Venus. It's like Venus is transparent again. This is trickery. It doesn't matter what filter you use to look at the sun, you're not going to get this effect, no matter what. I don't care what NASA claims. I don't care if they claim it's FLIR. I don't care if they claim it's ultraviolet. It's not going to look like that. Now, this is what I believe you would see from the Earth if you were to take your telescope and look at the sun itself. I believe this is what you're going to see. If you view way close to the sun, use any filter you want, you're going to see that sharp cutoff. But most of this, I believe, is just a Hollywood-looking effect, and that's all I believe the rest of it is. You're free to add your opinion, but I believe they have different props for different aspects of what they want to show, and that's just not how the sun would behave under any filter. It's not going to look like that. And of course, NASA, this footage came from NASA, and apparently it was imperative that they actually zoom down, because that's what they did. They apparently zoomed down to get a huge flameage on the video before they zoom up and get Venus. Again, it's not reality. You don't have the sharp cutoff. You have some darker spots of the sun. The space is brighter than the sun itself. If this was ultraviolet, you may not even be able to see Mercury, or Venus, I should say. Again, you can see the sun going through. You can see the line curvature into Venus. On the originals you can't. So I believe it's just trickery. That's just my opinion. Now you have a totally, you know, I don't know what you have here. I don't know what supposed light wave they're using, but now you have just a black square on the sun apparently, and the sun's looking all evil in this picture. Outer space is brighter than the sun itself. Again, spot on the sun's practically darker than the Venus itself. Outer space is brighter than the sun. It just doesn't add up at all. Oh, apparently for effect they changed either color or filter. I don't know what they're claiming to have changed it to, but they're not telling apparently. Again, that's all effect. It's all effects. Because if you look at them, if you look at the detailing closely, you can tell it's fake. You can tell. Nothing's moving. Now it's moving. Now the flameage is moving. See what I'm saying? Right now, nothing's really moving. Are you saying within all that time that Venus is traveling across the sun, nothing's moving up here? Again, nothing's moving. The sun's not moving. No flameage. Now you have flameage on the sun. It's fake. Someone purposely did that, probably because they want people to catch it. Again, this is time lapse. This is moving fast. This is time lapse. Remember, look at the detailing. These things are staying put. They're not moving. What are they? They're not moving. Again, the outer clouds and all these things on the sun just aren't moving. Anyway, I'm running out of battery. You tell me what you think, but I believe this isn't reality. This is Hollywood. Take care.